Let me get this set up. Hey, what's up, everybody? Decided to do like a quick video. I'm gonna try to say this right, but this video by Plana Productions. They taught their top 10 best wrestling matches of 2020. Although it's not over yet, we still like have like over a week away from it being over. So I'm just gonna say if I agree or disagree with their decisions of the top 10 best wrestling matches. So let's just get to it. Please give a like to the video and subscribe to the channel.
It's the end of the year, which means we can finally take a look at the top 10 best wrestling matches of the year. I love doing this because it's always fun to rank the greatest matches of a year. This year, wrestling has been really strange since there aren't any crowds, but it didn't stop the athletes from giving us some classic matches. There were a lot of good matches, and I recommend that you watch all of these on my list once you are finished with the video if you love wrestling, because it is good stuff. Also, comment below either your favorite wrestling match of the year or even your entire top 10, because it will be fun for me to read some of your opinions. And as per usual, this list will only include matches that I watched. I don't like throwing things onto the list that I didn't watch just because people liked it, because that doesn't feel real or authentic to me. So this means that there will only be matches from WWE, NXT, AEW, and the NWA. Anyways, let's get right into the video.
Not TNA. That's crap.
I only included one honorable mention on the list, and that was the parking lot brawl between the Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz. If there's one thing that Tony Khan is good at, it's booking these hardcore backstage matches. It's the closest thing that we get to the Attitude Era, and these four men had an intense story, and it needed to be settled inside of this match. The match itself was brutal. It had bumps onto cars, blood, and even an Orange Cassidy inside the trunk of a car. After the match, Jim Ross even said that this was the best parking lot brawl he's ever watched, and I would honestly agree.
Yeah, it was a good
Everything
match.
looked legit, and these four put their bodies on the line to deliver a good match. They were successful with it. I also love the ending with Trent's mom sticking her middle finger as they left in the van victorious. The number 10 match on the list is the Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles.
Wow, I thought that would be like, probably number one. It would have been number one in my book, but guess they just feel differently about it.
Because of the lack of the crowd, Undertaker and AJ decided to have a cinematic match. It was a different type of match than anything we've seen before. We didn't really know what to expect, and the only thing that was for certain is that these two over-delivered. I loved every second of this one. I think that we got to give a lot of credit to
Commercials, as always.
No one's going to give you agency. You have to take it.
credit to AJ Styles for giving The Undertaker a great retirement match. Without this, who knows if Taker would have felt okay with finally hanging up the boots. I've seen rumors that AJ wants to have one last match with Taker in the ring, but I don't think I want to see it. This was the perfect send-off for the ending. Undertaker and AJ Styles had that special chemistry, and honestly, AJ was the perfect choice for his last opponent. At this point, AJ Styles should just be the last opponent for everyone who wants to retire, because he'll give them a good damn match. We got another cinematic WrestleMania 36 match on the list, and that is the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena and The Fiend. I understand that people don't consider this a real wrestling match, but I just don't care, because I do. At the end of the day, wrestling is about storytelling. John Cena and Bray Wyatt gave us 2 decades of storytelling. I've watched the match a dozen times now, and it would have probably been number 1 on this list if it was more subjective. I thought that the mind games that The Fiend was playing on John Cena was brilliant. The amount of symbolism and hidden secrets included in the match makes it worth watching it more than just one time. You even have to do some research to fully understand all the components behind it. When a match makes you feel something, and also when it makes you think about it for more than 20 minutes, I would say that it's a good match. The main event at Survivor Series this year saw the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre take on the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Having a match with the 2 best wrestlers in the world is a recipe for success. and Drew McIntyre put on a classic match that's only the beginning of this rivalry. Drew gave it his all, but it was no match for the tribal chief. I remember seeing Triple H say that these two were the Hogan and Warrior of this generation, and I completely see it now. This match proved it. There were close calls, big moves, and enough action to keep you entertained for the entire bout. I want to see more down the line. Also, Roman Reigns calling out that nobody watches Raw was the funniest line ever because it's true. The ratings can tell you that story. In the beginning of the year, on an episode of AEW Dynamite, Kenny Omega and Pac had a 30-minute Iron Man match. And I will say one thing, and that this was one hell of a
I don't know.
match.
Maybe.
In my opinion, Pac is the best worker in AEW. And Kenny Omega is considered to be the best in the world by many others. I'm not a math teacher, but if you add that up, it gives you a fantastic wrestling match. Kenny Omega and Pac had 3 matches, but this had to be their best one. The story around the match was really good too, with Pac using a chair to disqualify himself, leading to an easy victory after Kenny Omega got the win with his disqualification. Omega didn't give up though. The two went to sudden death, and Kenny picked up the victory. It was one of AEW's best matches of the year, and the crowd only made it so much better. After winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, Drew's first opponent would be Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. Can we all agree and say that this is the most underrated match of the year? I don't see nearly enough people giving this the credit it deserves. In a time where we have to
Good match, but probably not top 10.
These two managed to get me invested into the match for the first time in a while. I thought wrestling wouldn't work in this new environment, but Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins proved me wrong and gave us the best match of McIntyre's entire WWE title reign. At AEW Revolution, Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page defended their tag team belts against the Young Bucks. There was just way too much talent involved in the ring for this match. These 4 men got into the ring and came out giving us one of, if not the greatest tag team match of all time in professional wrestling. I don't think I have to even say anything more than that. We all know how good this one was.
Yeah.
On an episode of NXT UK, Ilya Dragunov and Walter.
Well, I can't say anything about this match because I didn't see it. But I probably will get a chance, since I do have the network, look back at it and just see like how it is and things like that. So we'll see.
Secretly put out one of the best matches of the year. While many do say that this is their match of the year, it is not mine because I just don't care enough about these guys. If that makes any sense, it's important for us in fans to connect with story and relate to the characters. Without really watching NXT UK, I wasn't able to feel that connection. Regardless of that, though, they still reached the number 4 spot on my list. The story of Dragunov playing the underdog and getting destroyed by Walter was intense. Chop after chop, it wasn't enough to keep the kid down. Ilya came for a fight, and he wouldn't leave unless Walter killed him, and that's exactly what happened. If you want to take a look at what wrestling needs to be in today's world, look no further. Walter versus Ilya exemplifies that. Second episode of NWA Shockwave, Thunder Rosa took on Priscilla Kelly in the main event of the show. I know this may come off as the biggest surprise of the list, but this match was really, really good. It was one of my favorites, and I had to include it on this list because I think you need to check it out. It's free on YouTube, and you have no excuse not to watch it. I've become a big fan of Thunder Rosa over the summer, and she's become my favorite women's wrestler right now. The woman is so talented and makes wrestling look more legit than 98% of the people in the business. This match is proof of that. It looked like these two were
Didn't see this match, so I can't say.
Both of them did not hold back with their chops, strikes, and kicks. It led to the 3rd best match of the year, and seriously, once you finish this video, I want you to watch it. I understand
one
that
and
this
two.
might be cheating,
Yeah.
but I don't care.
This world is one of legend. Many will epic sounds.
I don't care. I consider these two matches between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso to be one. Both of them were so good and were like a sequel to each other that you need to watch them after another. When people ask me what my favorite movie is, I tell them that it is the Back to the Future trilogy. To me, I think you need to watch all three in order to finish the entire story, and I feel the same way about the Night of Champions and Hell in a Cell match. Ever since making his return, Roman's matches have been telling the best stories. There was a ton of drama and emotions running wild during these matches. Now this was really good shit. And the best match of the year has to be the Men's Royal Rumble.
No.
I'm going to go ahead and say it.
No.
This was the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. Brock Lesnar entering the match at number 1 to avoid a WrestleMania opponent was great. Then watching him destroy everyone in sight was hilarious. The spot with Keithley showed a glimpse of a future dream match. Ricochet getting his revenge leading to a Claymore kick was hype. And that was just the first half of the Rumble. The second half included Edge's return after 9 years of being retired because of his neck injury. Rated RKO returning was the most nostalgic thing to happen. They were my favorite tag team growing up, and I was glad to see them again in the ring.
Yeah. Why their match at WrestleMania was not in this list? It would have been in my top 10, but I guess everybody thought differently. But this would have been the match with Edge and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. This would have been in my top 10, but just don't get it.
Together, fighting off other foes. Seth Rollins screwing over Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe, only to get destroyed by the Final Four, was fun to see. And speaking of the Final Four, you couldn't have chosen a better four. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Edge. God damn. Edge turning on Orton was shocking. And then you had Drew winning it all, making him a star in the process. Yep, this was the best match of the year. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope
I don't know. There's some good matches I would keep in the top 10, but there's some of them that I just wouldn't do it. Like the Omega and Moxley, I would put that in the top 10, in my top 10. But I don't know. Some of this list I agree that being on the top 10. Some of it I don't. So it's just kind of odd for me just to agree or disagree, agree and disagree and all that stuff. So, well, what more can you say? But anyways, like I said, follow us on Twitter and WFSO World. Like the video, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Try to get to 200 by the end of the year. And look for WrestlingFansSpeakout.weebly.com. Thank you guys. And thank you for watching. And until the next video.